Welcome to Tech News Briefing. It's Monday, December 4th. I'm Julie Chang for The Wall Street Journal. Earlier this year, Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, set up a child safety task force. It came after the Wall Street Journal and researchers at Stanford University and the University of Massachusetts Amherst found that Instagram's algorithm helped connect pedophiles to one another. During the ensuing 5 months, the Journal and the Canadian Centre for Child Protection conducted tests to see if and how the problem was being addressed. They showed Meta's recommendation systems still promote that kind of content. So why is this such a challenge for the social media giant? Our reporter Katherine Blunt has been investigating this, and she's with me now. Katherine, tell us how you discovered Meta's platforms were still promoting pedophilic content even months after Meta set up this task force.
Sure. So to be clear, Meta has made some progress through this task force in addressing some of the problems that were brought to light over the summer. But the challenge is that its algorithms are simply exceptionally good at promoting this kind of content to those who like it. One of the ways that we were checking on the progress that the company was made was simply to see if there were active hashtags that had been identified as problematic. And in some cases they were, or maybe the algorithm recommended a hashtag with a minor variation if the other had been taken down. It's part of a broader system that it's almost like whack-a-mole. The company can dismantle part of the network, but the algorithm will work to rebuild it or make it stronger somewhere else.
You were also looking at different Facebook groups. Can you tell us what you found there?
Yeah, so our earlier reporting focused largely on Instagram, but the problem extends to Facebook as well. We're looking specifically at how Facebook's algorithms help people find groups that are dedicated to these interests. And first of all, there's a very large number of groups out there with large memberships, say hundreds of thousands of users dedicated to children and sexual interests in children. And while Meta has hidden a lot of these groups from its search results, it's still an active ecosystem. And the groups you should join recommendation function helps pedophilic users find these groups and each other and join discussions that are overtly problematic.
And what has Meta said in response to these hashtags and groups promoting pedophilic content?
It's working on it. So, in addition to hiding groups, it's expanded technology that is meant to find and disable problematic accounts. It has been working to expand its technology capabilities to be able to detect not only problematic hashtags, but variations on such hashtags so that it doesn't continue to perpetuate in that cycle. But like everything, things take time, and there have been some challenges in the manpower and the resources that they have to address this, as they do a lot of other functions as well.
We know Meta has been cutting costs and staff this year. Have the people who work on these sensitive issues been affected?
Yes, there have been cuts in this area, and certain current and former employees have voiced frustration about the way resources have been allocated. This concern predates the creation of the Child Safety Task Force. This has been a challenge that the company has faced for a number of years now. And certainly within the last year, there's been a shift to focus on the metaverse and a year of efficiency that has raised concerns among some that are working on some of the safety-oriented work within the company.
And what has Meta said about those cost cuts?
Meta has said that the cost cuts were not detrimental to the overall safety work that it's continuing to perform.
Okay, so I guess the big question in all of this is, why is it so hard for Meta to take down pedophilic or other problematic content off its platforms?
Basically, the challenge here is that the algorithmic systems that the company has in place are really good at fostering these networks. There's a large amount of content that needs to be addressed. It's a minority of the content on the platform, but that doesn't mean it's a small problem. But of course, something that the company is really focused on is not making changes to the algorithm that are going to, affect advertising and revenue and cause collateral damages to the way it functions for the broader set of users that really benefit from the algorithms and the way that they're able to help people find all kinds of content and connections outside their immediate circles. It's a difficult balance to strike. And to date, the company has been reticent to make substantial changes in that way because, again, it has the potential to affect every user, not just the users that are being targeted through this task force.
And how do we know that the company is focused on advertising?
We looked through a number of company documents, and within that is a real discussion about making sure that actions taken by employees didn't do anything to affect advertising or create friction in that way.
That was our reporter, Katherine Blunt. And that's it for Tech News Briefing. Today's show was produced by me, Julie Chang, with supervising producer Catherine Millsop and deputy editor Chris Zinsley. I'm Julie Chang for The Wall Street Journal. Thanks for listening.